LMP1 category, 2 Japanese Toyota Gazoo racing drivers, Kamui Kobayashi, Kazuki Nakajima, Ollie Webb from Bikoles, Dominic Kryhammer-Yetzer of Pier, and in the GT category we have Richard Lietz for Dempsey Proton Porsche. But the big news of the weekend so far is the announcement from Mark Webber that he will retire from racing at the end of the season. So Mark, a special guest. Mark, what brought on the decision and when did it become clear to you that that was what you needed to do?
Actually it was around Spa time. So Spa was pretty much in my mind that this will be my last year in racing. And yeah, I mean it takes a while to come to that decision obviously, but I've been very, very fortunate to have had the career that I've had. I worked with some incredible people up until this year, till the Bahrain. I'll still be working with the best there is in the business. So with Porsche, and obviously in my Formula 1 career I was very lucky as well. So I think that life rolls along pretty quick, and it's hard to do this job half pregnant. You have to really involve yourself, and also with the testing that's involved and all the things that come along with the real drug, which is the racing. It's not always the parameters that you're always after. So I can't do that half-hearted. So I'm in a team environment now, especially with Timo and Brendan. Individually you can maybe justify it to yourself, but you can never ever justify to a team environment, which I'm in at the moment, if you can't have the passion and the motivation to go to Aragon at 3 in the morning. These type of things obviously add up, and I want to be very fair to Porsche, fair to everyone involved. That I've seen a lot of movies in my mind, both very, very positive and some obviously tricky situations throughout my career. But overall, immensely proud, and the great people throughout my career around me, and that's made my life a lot easier. And it's a nice weight off your shoulders, just to, even personally yourself. Like last night I went to bed and it's like, hey, good, finally it's done, and actually now I'm committed, I have to do it, which is good. And the response has been phenomenal, and just very proud of you.
You've had an amazing career in different categories of motorsport. What are your memories of racing in the WBC?
Well, I think that Le Mans is a pretty intense race. So I think driving these type of cars at night at Le Mans is something which is very, very dramatic, very intense, very sexy. The cars are certainly on the edge. The track is on the edge, and it's something which I'll always remember doing. Particularly this year was a tremendous race. And not that we could fight all the way through, but you just saw the level of competition that was on display there this year was great for the category. And the camaraderie with Timo and Brendan. Obviously, the results we've had, there's been a lot of victories against all odds, and I think that we squeezed a lot out of our car, and that passion we've had to get the most out of the car each weekend has been extremely rewarding. Timo really helped my transition come across as so professional, as an endurance driver, very, very experienced. So that was very, very good for me to have Timo in my car. And also Brendan, seeing a young guy obviously really grow and a bit rough around the edges in the first year or so, but now he's one of the best in the world. He's a phenomenally rounded sports car driver, so to be involved in seeing that unfold. They're great memories, and and also obviously having the competition. I mean, obviously all the other drivers I raced against, obviously all the Toyota guys, all the Audi guys, we've had some great battles, and it's always been fair, the respect has always been there, and it's been played out in the true spirit of what we expect from this championship, and also from what Porsche loves to do as competitors, so that's been great.
You'll stay with Porsche as an ambassador. Will that include any visits to the WBC paddock?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see me around, I'm sure, at some events, no question about it. We're working, the program will be coming together pretty quickly, I'm sure. I'm still a pretty busy guy, which is great. And we're looking at some great opportunities next year with the brand, and both on and off track, so that'd be good.
Thank you very much. Kamui, third in the championship, just half a point behind the Audi number 8. 4 podiums in 6 races. Are you surprised at how well the season's gone for you?
Yeah, I think so far, we have done a really great job this season. Of course, I think we missed a couple of points in Spa and the new win, but it's overall, I had to say, I think our performance is really good. Especially this is my first season with the LMP1, and yeah, I think we had a good start for the season.
You did much of your early racing career in Europe, but what are your memories of Fuji, and is it a place you enjoy to come?
Yeah, actually, I raced this circuit. This is third time, so it's not much memory. Actually, I never finished this circuit on even the podium because I only had some races, so it's a bit hard to say. But it's always great to be back because this is our home race, especially for the Toyota. And you know, there's a lot of spectacular fans and a lot here, and you know, it's always been back here. It's great. When I come back in 2013 with WC when I was in GT, unfortunately I didn't race because of the weather. But finally looks, I think, this week so far okay. So I'm so excited for this week.
And this is, of course, as you say, your first experience as a Toyota race driver. You have a huge following from your Formula 1 career. Are you looking forward to the experience of the fans here?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think I was last week in the Formula 1. I see a lot of guys. It's great the fans around there, but definitely I think there's coming to the WC as well. So I'm so excited.
Kazuki, a few more years than Kamui. 2 wins here in WEC, a few other races in Super GT and wins in Super Formula. What are your feelings about the Fuji track?
Well, it's yeah, like my home track, so yeah, different to Kamui, I'm kind of too much used to this track, and well, but I'm always looking forward to our race here because it's a nice track to drive, and yeah, always, as Kamui said, the fun here it will be here, the fun. He is quite passionate, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fans supporting us on the weekend. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see many people, and also yeah, we have a good confidence about the performance as well. At least we can be close to our competitor, closer than some other tracks. So I'm looking forward to have a good race.
It's been a very tricky year for your particular car in comparison to the other car. Heartbreaking moments, difficult moments, especially Le Mans. Have you, as a team, come to an understanding of what's going on with your car?
Well, it's, I guess, I hope it's just a bad luck, but yeah, it's a bad contrast compared to Car 6. We lost, yeah, many big points, Spa and Le Mans, for sure. So it could have been a very good year for us, but somehow it didn't become like that. But yeah, I'm sure the guy in the team is working really hard to make everything right, and it just, yeah, happens maybe too many times on our car, but I hope it's just a luck, and I hope this time is the time to turn everything around.
Free practice, both cars were less than a second behind the fastest of the session. So do you feel that this is the place where Toyota can perhaps repeat the successes from 2012 and 13?
Yeah, I really hope so, and we have a, well, we are not maybe as dominant as 2014, but at least we are in position to fight with the other guys, so I'm looking forward to have a good race, and I hope to, how to say, to show our effort to the people, a lot of fans in front of us.
Thank you very much. Moving to Oliver Webb. Ollie, as a Brit, what's your opinion of travelling over to Japan and to Fuji?
Yeah, obviously an amazing experience, both from the racing side of it. I mean, the track's a fantastic track. I've only driven on once before, so even less experience, obviously, than the guys on the left around there. But the place in general, it's got some of the most polite and dedicated fans. A great place with a lot of culture. So both times I've come here, I've come a few days before just to take as much in as I can and kind of experience it all. But when we get to the track, we never see so many people kind of hanging outside the garage, even on a practice day, and personal made banners for all the different teams and drivers, and obviously that's even more saying so in the privateer class. It's nice to see that, because at best we have 3 cars to compete against, so it's nice to feel you've got some competition, some people supporting that.
Yeah, now you say racing in the LMP1 private category, very few cars in the category, and you're unable to fight with the works cars. So what's the attraction for a team like Collis to be in this particular category?
I guess I can't really speak on behalf of the team bosses, just in case it's not quite what they think, but I guess the position is that the rules eventually kind of work out to a point where it's close enough to fight, and with it being endurance racing, they're longer races. So as we saw at the start of the year, Rebellion were able to get a couple of overall podiums, and that's with a car that's still a couple of seconds, if not more, off the pace. It still makes it interesting to drive, even with it being overall, we know we're slower, but being faster at the end of the straight, slower out of the corners, and mid-corner being all very different with GTs and hybrids, it is interesting, and it's nice to know that you can have that opportunity to win overall. And we've seen at the beginning of the year that if things go wrong for other teams and you do your job right, even with a car that's slightly inferior on paper, then you can do your job, and that's what we've got to do, especially now with there only being one of the cars to compete against, is to make sure that compared to your teammates you're doing a good job, and compared to the equipment you've got, you're feeling like you're justified in what you're doing.
And so how does the CLM stack up against the R1?
I keep trying to get in their garage and find out, but I'm not quite sure. It's certainly we're having some reliability issues. I mean, the chassis car and the team are very professional. The car's a delight to drive when it's working properly. There are some parts on it that are a consistent issue and cause it to be quite hot in the cockpit. Other than that, it's when it's working well, it's a very nice car.
Thank you very much, Ollie. Richard Lietz, from the only representative of the GT category. It's been a difficult year with only one kind of semi-works GT Pro car. What have been your challenges at Porsche?
Well, I mean, obviously it was a compromise from the beginning. We prepared a year for next year. As a driver side, we said, okay, it's the only way to drive a complete championship because the main problem for us was preparing the 2017 car for next year. So we were really very happy that Mr. Dempsey and Christian Ried put up this team, and Mike and me, we are able to drive. And of course, I mean, to fight against these factory teams in the GT category is not easy for us, but we did our best, and we got 20 kilograms out for this race, and it looked really a lot better in the first practice. Of course, we like to drive here in Japan. For us as a driver, we know the track quite good from the last years. And obviously the tires worked better than probably last races for us, so it seems the gap is closer, and this is, I mean, mainly our challenge for this year, to close the gap to the others, and if we are close enough to fight for a podium, it would be amazing, but it was difficult this year so far.
You mentioned the weight break, 20 kilos off the car. How is that going to affect your performance against the other cars?
Hopefully positive. No, I mean, obviously it helps everywhere on acceleration, braking, and of course tire life, which is normally an issue for us to be constant for 1 hour. And therefore we are really confident, and we're happy to get this weight out. And we hope that it already pays out here in Fuji.
And are you hoping to have a larger presence from Porsche in the GT category next year?
Say again?
Are you hoping to have a larger presence in the GT category next year?
I mean, of course, we develop a new car, and I'm quite sure we will race next in this category. And GT racing always has been very important for Porsche. I mean, it's where we come from, and basically the car looks very similar to our street cars. And if you drove our GT3 RS, you know, it's really close to this. And I think it's very important for Porsche to have the GT racing. Next year there will be a lot more effort, yes, and I hope to be part of this.